What up, yo?
What up?
This is Leroy. That's Michael. This is the We Trine channel, another Nerdy by Nature Productions. And let's kick this off by saying, Texas, welcome to the SEC. It is 23-0 at half. They have taken out the starting quarterback. Archie Manning's grandson is in right now.
Hmm.
Uh, Texas is getting all that Georgia can give them. So,
Mm. And Oklahoma lost to the Gamecocks.
South Carolina, yeah,
Yeah,
like,
that's
with,
that's wild. I
right?
was like, huh? Like my team is actually beating Oklahoma? That's crazy.
The
Yeah.
funniest thing about that is, so I saw on some feed or something earlier today, Oklahoma's not ready for the SEC, and I was like, "That's weird. They're playing South Carolina today. That should be an easy win." And then I saw the score update, and I was like, and then it like disappeared, like it was a glitch. And I saw, was it 30-9 or something like that? And I was
I
like,
don't know. I know it started 21-0.
and I was like, "Wait, what?" So
Yeah.
yeah, this college football day has been wild. So
Yeah.
yeah, hey, what'd you do yesterday?
I
Tell
had
the
a
people.
great day, man. What did I do? I first I went to the South Carolina State Fair. That was fun.
Hmm.
Saw the exhibits.
Hmm.
Bought a bunch of food that is way overpriced and tastes okay, but I don't know if it's worth the money. But
Hmm.
did that. Parked my car a little bit early because I was gonna go see Friday Night SmackDown live. So I parked my car down there, so I don't have to worry about doing it later. Saw
Hmm.
Friday Night SmackDown. Had a great time. Me and the lady went and saw it. And then there was two additional matches after the show that we got to see. It was a good
Oh,
time.
really?
Yes, had a very good time.
So after the show that aired online or aired, they
Uh
had
huh.
two additional matches just for the people who were in the stadiums.
Hmm.
Oh,
Known
that's
as
cool.
dark matches, more or less, because they're not usually taped.
Ah,
Yeah.
or they're not shown online. Like
Well, see,
I'm
it's
quite,
weird.
I'm quite sure they roll on them.
Well, I don't know that. I mean, I'm sure that yes. Good point. Sorry, they definitely do roll on them. I just don't know where the footage goes because, like, why roll on them if you're not going to show them anywhere? But I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Very good question. It's funny that you mentioned that because I got to work my first freelance gig with the University of South Carolina. It's very weird being there, um, being an Clemson fan, and then being like on campus with all these people with all this USC gear on, all the South Carolina gear, and like all this alumni, college students, and people who are like all into the Gamecocks.
Hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, I get it. I do get it. I will say this though.
Oh, there's a passion at USC. Don't get it
Oh,
twisted.
there's a passion. I
Yeah.
did enjoy cheering for the USC women's soccer team as I was TD in it. So
Sure.
I got hired on to technical directed, and the facility that they have has four control rooms. Only two and a half are operational right now. So they
Mm.
did a soccer game, women's soccer game, and a women's volleyball game at the same time. And it's funny because while you were at SmackDown, and I forgot that SmackDown was this Friday,
Hmm.
this past Friday, we they have a separate control. They have the one I said they had two and a half control rooms open because the half is where they do basketball, and they were doing the graphics for SmackDown, and so I
Interesting.
could see the rehearsal of the cameras. They were zoomed out, but I could see them rehearsing all of the different moves and all the different people, and it was
Hmm.
so cool to like see the behind the scenes,
Yeah.
because I was like, oh, this is something that I don't ever get to see. Um, and shout out to your lady who got to meet Cody Rhodes and friend of the show, Daniel Bonds.
Yeah. They got to meet Cody Rhodes. She got to hold the belt. She has a photo of her holding the undisputed WWE Championship because she was actually off this week. She just happened to
Mhm.
go because they called her and said, "Hey, you got to come in because Cody's coming." So
Ah,
she went to the studio and got the photo. So it was very cool.
yeah, that was cool. I
Yeah.
really I'm wrestling. I'm out of wrestling. I'm not trying
Yeah.
to get back into it because I don't need that in my life right now.
Yeah, man,
Because
it's addictive.
that's what I'm saying. Like I don't need any more
It's
stuff.
addictive. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm already in enough fandoms and spend enough money as it is, and I don't need another one. And I don't need something else to go to. But I do know when the boys come of age, they'll probably drift into wrestling because I like it.
Hmm.
And I used to be such a huge wrestling nerd, and I'm like, okay, if they get into it, they get into it. I'm not going to discourage them. I'm not going to encourage them. But I'm like, I spend enough money as it is on the shit that I like as it is, and I don't need any more help to do that. So,
Sure.
so yeah. Tonight, let's talk DC. Um, uh, New York Comic Con is going on right now. There's some
Hmm.
lot of cool news that's going on. I have been really excited to see all of the people's pictures. Um, uh, to the show, the cosplaying, the different panels. I want to go. Like, this is on my bucket list. I've been to San Diego. My
You remember WOTX was going to send us?
Yep, and we were dumb and said no. We'll stay and help with the hurricane coverage. That ended up being bull crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
looking back now saying we should have went and said F the station.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Because the hurricane didn't end up being anything.
That particular one did not. You're right.
And we were like, no, because South Carolina's due. We were like, it's due. All the reports were like something's coming, and then it was right after, it was after Texas got hit, and I went to Beaumont for Texas, and Julie, our news director at the time, was like, hey, I'll pay for you guys to go, because we were doing our old channel, The Nerds, and she was like, I'll pay for y'all to go, and we were like, no, if you send your 11 o'clock director and producer.
Yeah.
And at the time, were you an EP at the time?
If it was Julie, yeah, probably.
Because I was a nighttime production manager at the time, and you were the nighttime EP. So I was like, that's a huge loss for you if a real hurricane comes.
Yeah.
And I said, I would not feel good about doing that. Now I'm like, man, fuck that. We should have went. We should have just enjoyed. We should have got them to pay for it. We should have got a car service.
Okay, calm down.
We should have asked for a photog. Like, now I'm
Sure.
like, man, like, fuck that. We should have done it all. But no. New York Comic Con is on my bucket list. And with that being said, there is a lot. Yep, David Cooper. We are lot. Whoa, David Cooper. We ain't seen. Hey, brother. It's good to hear from you. We hadn't been live. I mean, we've been trying to be live, but I'm glad to see you, man. I'm glad to hear from you. I hope everything's good with you. Breck Warren. Yep, we're here. Yeah, it's there's a lot of news coming out, but some of the biggest news to me is the DC news, the comics, the movies, the television. To me, DC is really hot right now, and I kind of want to talk about it. And I wanted to get Michael's opinion, because has a more critical eye than I do at times, because I can fan because I can fan out and not pay attention to like the details.
Okay.
I can just be like, oh my gosh, this is going on, and you can be like, yeah, that shit ain't happening. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
I will say this: I am not plugged into New York Comic Con like I would be for San Diego Comic Con, so
Really?
maybe I will have that outside perspective.
So,
oh man, this is random topic. I feel like I've seen this
what
movie,
we
but I
do.
didn't. But I
That's what we do.
feel like I've seen this animated movie, but I don't remember it. So today I saw The Secret of NIMH.
You have never seen that?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I feel like I have, I just don't remember it.
Okay.
Let
me say this.
Yeah.
If you're saying that, then you've never seen it, because that movie is effing dark.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Wendy was like, hey, because we were just going on Amazon. She's like, hey, let's watch this, because it's one of her favorite movies, but she said it's very dark. It's like, for a kid's movie?
That explains a lot. And
she was like, yeah, she said it scared her when she was younger.
Next, you're going to tell me she enjoys Watership Down.
I don't know if she's seen Watership Down.
Put that on your bucket list. Because
no, that I'm familiar with.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of movies from the 80s that are considered kids, for kids, that are not for kids.
Dark. Yeah.
Secret of NIMH is not one of them. Secret of NIMH is fucking traumatizing. The owl.
Yeah.
Hold on. Think about this for a second. The Secret of NIMH is about a single mother trying to buy a house.
Yeah, pretty much.
When they say describe a movie in a sentence, The Secret of NIMH is about a single mother trying to buy a house.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. I like that um, theorization of it. But yeah, it was very good. We just got into a what's his what's his first? I know it's Bluth. Is it Don Bluth? Don Bluth.
Don Bluth, yes.
Just kind of got into a Amazon hole of just looking at some of his older stuff or whatever.
Wow. Yeah, so y'all went down a real rabbit hole.
Sometimes you just click on something like, oh, let's just watch. All right.
Yeah, man. I love The Secret of Them, but good lord, I'm not going to be one of those people who's like, I'm going to let my kid watch this. Hell no. Like,
Man, that can scar you. Or,
so
but you know what? Maybe it prepares you for stuff. I don't know.
no, because I am no, no, no. Because like, here's the thing. I get now why parents put the television on and let their kids watch it so they can do other stuff and like, but I do get that your parents let you watch stuff because they believe it's animation, not realizing, oh, this is not for children. So anything by Ralph Bakshi
Hmm.
and Don Bluth. Remember that movie Wizards I told you about? And you
Hmm.
finally watched it. You were like, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah, my mom used to put that shit on. I was like, Wizards, anything by Ralph Bakshi, anything by Don Bluth has traumatizing themes in it. And don't,
Sure.
I'm not saying they're bad. They're just, you need to watch that with them.
Yeah, sure.
So
Explain
yeah.
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need to say, so it's when you got the remote in your hand and then you pause and you're like, hey, let's talk.
Hmm.
So yeah, New York Comic Con. Uh, right now, DC is hot.
Hmm.
The casting news, the movie news, the television news. Um, so, what do you know about all the news that's come out about DC? Let's start from there, and then maybe we can go.
I mean, I know nothing. I've been
So,
following more Marvel stuff. Like I know they gave the release date for the Daredevil show in March.
okay,
People have seen some trailers of it, and the bad guy is a serial killer with the mask and bloodshot. I don't know his name, but I
mhm,
know Kingpin and Daredevil are teaming up to fight him.
okay,
That's about all I know. I think I saw a thumbnail that said they whatever the animated thing that they're doing from DC, something Commando, Creature Commando.
yes.
Yeah, that got a trailer, I think. Um, I do know about the Superman and the dog because that came out before
Whoa,
Comic Con, right?
crypto, crypto, sir. Put some respect on that name. Yes,
It's a dog.
it's not just.
I'm not
Whoa,
gonna. It's a
whoa,
dog.
whoa, whoa, sir,
No,
sir, sir,
it's a dog.
sir.
Superman and his doggy pal.
Sir. Yeah. So did you? So the image you saw was like Kim and Crypto on the moon looking down at Earth. Is that the one you
Uh
saw?
huh. Yep.
Okay. So yeah. So we got that, and then your boy Aaron Pierce or Aaron Pierre, um, as John Stewart,
Who?
and the Lanterns from
You
Rebel
said my
Ridge.
boy.
Aaron Pierre. You
Oh,
watch Rebel
okay.
Ridge? Yeah.
Yeah, I
He
already
was.
forgot his name, bro.
Good lord, man.
He was really good in that movie. I already forgot his name.
You suck.
Yeah.
So yeah, Aaron Pierre is now John Stewart. He's with Kyle Chandler and Nathan Fillion. Kyle Chandler is going to play Hal Jordan. Nathan Fillion is going to play Guy Gardner, and the Lanterns DC television series on Max. I wonder if they're going to go back to HBO Max as they realize they fucked up by just calling it Max.
I don't feel like Zaslav changes mistakes.
I feel
He
like
doubles down on mistakes. He doesn't care.
Zaslav's going to be looking for a new gig when they let that brother go. Not friend of the show.
I
But if
don't
you want
feel
to come
like
on,
David
David
Zaslav
Zaslav,
is getting let go.
I do believe eventually he's going to have to step down because I do believe if you look at the stock price and you look at what's going on with Warner Brothers Discovery, they're not doing too good. However, I will say their television shows, the HBO television shows, are very good.
Hmm.
Um, I will say, if Lanterns is half as good as Penguin is, that show's going to be amazing. Penguin is awesome. Just Penguin is if you made The Sopranos and put it in Gotham, that's the best
Okay.
way I can explain it to you.
Okay.
So yeah, so there's a lot going on. What did you? So there's a lot of internet chatter, and I say this because um, how do I so I don't know if you've saw or if you've seen, there's reports of movie studios enlisting super fans as focus groups for projects that they have coming out.
Yeah, and
What
then
is
they're changing stuff based on that.
yes. What is your opinion on that?
I don't think that's a good. We've kind of talked about this a little bit. I don't think it's a good idea. It
Okay.
just seems like you're trying to change whatever the artistic direction or artistic vision of what the director and the cast were.
Mhm.
So I don't feel like that is the way to go because you're going to be too busy trying to cater to this one group of people. And granted,
Yeah.
they represent somebody, right? But they don't
Yes.
represent everyone. So
Yes.
I don't think you can focus test enough movies to make that a sustainable business. Like
Yes.
maybe you get lucky once or twice, but eventually I think that just doesn't seem like a sustainable business of trying to, oh, they didn't, oh, that was you. Oh, they didn't like this. Um, so let's change this and this. And then now we got a whole new movie. The issue is I just don't, I think you run out of resources doing that because that's not how movies are made to, I don't know how many
Yes.
rewrites you can do on a movie to make that profitable.
I definitely agree with you on that. I definitely agree that enlisting super fans to look at a project before it comes out. I understand focus groups. I understand focus groups to make a good film, but I think enlisting super fans into a and the reason why I bring this up is because DC, it seems James Gunn, who is a fan of stuff, putting him in charge of the DCEU, to me seems to be a better fit than getting super fans to. And I apologize if I look over the screen because Texas is trying to score its first touchdown and it's not looking good.
And you said
Uh,
they're playing who?
they're playing Georgia.
Okay.
Georgia is 5-1. They're ranked number 5. They're ranked fifth. Texas is number 1 in the AP poll, and they're undefeated. And
That's probably going
whew,
to change.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I hope it changes because I love chaos. I love all this ranking system, and I love chaos because it's always like, oh, this team is better than this team, and it's like that shit doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I reason why I brought it up is because I believe you should put people who are in charge of a property, fans of a property, or at least have reverence for a property, who respect what they're working on. They don't have to be super fans. I don't think everybody should be a Dave Filoni. Oh, they just scored first touchdown because Tony Gilroy is not a super Star Wars fan, and he made one of the best Star Wars television shows, Andor,
I
and
agree with that.
he also helped create Rogue one of the best Star Wars movies. So I don't think you have to be a super fan. It does help that you have someone who is a fan of the project, who understands the characters, the dynamic of the world, and I think James Gunn is good in that position, and so I'm excited about what's going on with DC. I think I am personally really looking forward to Lanterns because they describe it as True Detective in space. And if you've watched the True Detective series, they've had 4 seasons. I think one is the strongest. I do like two. I like two more than three. Four wasn't bad, but again, I think with the resources that HBO Max has, if you look at, and I'm gonna say this, and this is maybe controversial to a lot of people. The DC TV shows are a step ahead, and pound for pound are better shows than anything Marvel has put out.
Okay. What do we got? We got Peacemaker and we got what else?
You have Peacemaker, Penguin, and The Watchmen.
Okay. Interesting.
And I would say it is, and I say this as someone who's a very big fan of Marvel, who loves Marvel. I have Marvel all over this house. I I really love Marvel. However, when you look at the DC TV shows that they have made, Watchmen made me cry.
Watchmen was very good,
Watchmen was very good.
and it was educational for a lot of people.
Whoo! I mean, that first episode with the
Hmm.
Tulsa massacre. Whoo!
Yeah.
And you go back and you look at Peacemaker. We've never seen anything like Peacemaker. And I say that, and I'm gonna tangentially tie this to what James Gunn is doing. For everybody who's complaining about crypto, one, you don't know Superman, and if you don't like crypto, fuck you. Um, just gonna put this out there.
That's what we needed in the world.
I'm just saying, man. If you don't like a dog in a movie, man, like what is wrong with you? Like honestly, what is wrong? Like if you like, and I say that saying, if you don't think James Gunn will understand the relationship between Superman and crypto, then you didn't watch Peacemaker and watch Eagly and John Cena with Eagly as Peacemaker,
Hmm.
because I thought that was a cool relationship. And then if you take Penguin and you look at what's going on with John Farrell, Christian Malati, is that how you say your name?
Colin Farrell.
No, Colin Farrell, and who's the woman?
Right.
She
No, but
played.
you said John Farrell. I was like, I don't know who John Farrell is.
Oh, sorry. I thought I said Colin Farrell. Sorry.
No,
Colin
Kristen
Farrell.
Milotti. Yeah.
Yeah, she is killing it. She's also one of the people that you can go see at New York Comic Con. Um, and I really think the DC shows, what DC is putting out, and what HBO Max is putting out is very good. So I have no problem with what everything's going on with lanterns. I understand people like the Green Lantern should be this huge cosmic scale event, but if you look at True Detective and you look at what the Green Lanterns are, they're space cops.
Hmm.
So what would it be like to see space cops with all this immense power? What would bring them to this little dirtball sector to investigate a murder? And what is the ramifications that would cause? To me, that's the hook. That these space cops explore the entire galaxy. They each have sectors. What would make them invest? What would pull their resources to investigate a murder here? And so, to me, that is very exciting and very enticing. So, what say you?
Old stuff. I was looking up old stuff with Christine Milotti in it, and I remember she was in that show Made for Love. I never watched it, and now I guess I can't because it's not on HBO anymore.
She was also in 30 Rock. She was also in.
Yeah, she was in one episode of 30 Rock.
Oh, I thought she was in multiple. I never watched all
No,
of them.
she was a guest character in one episode. She was a female writer who had this persona about her that Liz Lemon didn't like. And then in typical Liz Lemon fashion, Liz Lemon wasn't exactly correct about her, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is your opinion about lanterns? Like when you saw them get casted, when you saw everything that's going on, what was your opinion? Because I'm gonna start property by property to get your opinion.
I like the idea of a supernatural true detective. At least on paper, I like the idea. Based on the people that are cast. And granted, I will not pretend to know comics like you do or a lot of people do, just a passing glance. In my mind, Guy Gardner is kind of the arrogant jerk sometimes as
He's
a
a dick.
lantern.
Yes. Yeah, you can say
So I
he's a
like,
dick.
and you said Nathan Fillion is cast as that.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think that's perfect casting. That's like reminds me of when they used to do like the typecasting or the dream casting in Wizard magazine and stuff like that.
Yep. Mhm.
That is like,
Look
oh
at
yeah,
you
this
knowing
is
stuff.
perfect. Oh, I used to buy Wizard magazines. I just for like the cover. I thought the cover arts were great. But I think that's perfect for that. I remember there was a time when Tyrese was really campaigning to be John Stewart.
He was the
I
only
don't
one.
know. He
No one else
was.
is campaigning.
Here's the thing. I don't hate Tyrese. I'm not saying he would have been a great John Stewart. I'm not saying that. What
I'm saying he's
is
not.
I don't. Okay. What I'm saying is I don't know that he would have been the worst John Stewart. That's what I'll say. Having said that, I'm glad that they got the Rebel Ridge guy. That's awesome.
I will say this. Tyrese is a lot of things. I think he's a good actor. I think he would be fine in a lot of different parts. I do believe he would not have been good as John Stewart. Now, here's the one thing I would have said. Tyrese would have been a better character, would have played Bokeem Woodbine's character in Halo. I think that should have went to Tyrese. I would have believed Tyrese as a former Spartan who left. I think Tyrese had the range that Bokeem did not have, and I like Tyrese. I think his new movie that just came out, was it 1989 or 1999, whatever that was,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is a good. I don't hate Tyrese. I just think him as Jon Stewart is not the character. When I think of Jon Stewart, I think of, because again, Jon Stewart used to be a Marine. When I think of Marine, I think of a dad. And I do not see Marine energy from. Now, I will say this. He does have the capability, because if you watch Annapolis,
Annapolis was good.
Annapolis was good.
Yeah.
And he was okay in the Transformers movies. I just don't see him as a Marine. I see him as a naval officer. I did buy him as a naval officer. I thought he was very good in that. I just didn't see him as a Marine. And that's just me. So with that being said.
Wait. Tyrese or Bokeem Woodbine?
Tyrese. Remember, Tyrese was in Annapolis.
Right, but you said
I see him as a naval officer. I see him as a naval officer.
You said you don't see him as a Marine.
I don't see him as a Marine. I don't. These are two totally different things. I used to be a sailor.
Sure.
I know.
But what is him having to not being a Marine with him being in Halo?
I believe him as a Spartan. Two totally different things.
Okay.
Spartans are imaginary. Marines are real.
Sure. Okay.
Just saying.
Okay.
David Cooper, I said what I said. Bokeem, are you saying Bokeem has more range than Tyrese? Get out. How do we boot somebody out? David Cooper just showed up. How do we kick him out?
I don't disagree with that.
That Bokeem has more range than Tyrese?
Yeah. I mean, did you see Bokeem in the TV show Fargo? He was very good.
I did not.
He was very good.
I'll give you that.
He was very good. That's all I'm saying.
You know what? Look, you know what? Before we go any further, before we start the Bokeem Tyrese slander, let's pull up their IMDb's.
Okay.
I did not know that we would get into this.
I didn't know that either.
So Bokeem. Okay, let's start with Bokeem. He's in the Ripley TV show. He was in Halo, Old Dads. He was in Wu-Tang, The American Saga, in The Inspection, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Fargo, as you mentioned, Queen and Slim, Overlord. Here's the thing. All of these movies that Bokeem is in that I'm reading off, I don't remember him in any of it. And I've seen half of this stuff. I remember
Tyrese in.
I'm saying Bokeem. I don't remember Bokeem in any of this stuff.
Okay.
I saw Overlord. I own Overlord. I saw Queen and Slim. Don't remember. I saw Spider-Man Homecoming. Don't remember. Let's see. Riddick. There's a lot of people in that. Total Recall. I remember in Total Recall because he was a friend who turned on him. I remember that shit. He was good in The Devil. Black Dynamite. Don't remember him. So
David Cooper's right. That sounds like a you issue. That does sound like a you issue.
Hey man, and you guys are talking about Bokeem is I'm just saying.
What we're saying, nobody has said Bokeem is the amazing actor that makes you remember. I just said he has better range than Tyrese.
I'm just saying I disagree. I mean, here's the thing. When I think of Tyrese, I think range. Okay, first of all, Baby Boy, Transformers, and the Fast and Furious franchise. I'm sorry, man.
Transformers and Fast and Furious aren't that different. Don't put those on a schedule
all I'm saying
on a scale like those are so different.
All I'm saying is you remember this scene when old boy was looking for the cell phone and he's like, jacket pocket. He's like, front pocket. He's like, back pocket, back. You remember that scene when he was checking his pockets and old boy was looking for the phone and he was like, check all in his crotch and he was like, back pocket. You remember that scene? That's Tyrese.
To
You
me,
remember
remembering a
Baby Boy.
scene is not the same as saying whether or not somebody has range. I think that's a different argument.
I disagree. I think when you remember a scene that that is range because that person encapsulated a scene that you remember that brings into your mind that person acted their ass off.
Yeah, but if they did the exact same thing in a different movie, that's not range. That's just doing the same thing.
What did he do in other movies that brought that imagery to you?
He didn't.
I did not expect to get on here for this Tyrese slander.
I think what more you want from me?
Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, so you know what? We'll all have to agree to disagree. I do appreciate that we have decided to have the bold brother off with Tyrese and Bokeem Woodbine. You will only get that here on the We Tryin' channel, where we started talking about DC and started arguing about bald brothers and movies.
For anybody that's new, I'm sorry. We might get back to DC. I can't promise. We might. We'll see
This is what we do.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what are you looking for from the Superman movie? That's 2025. It's I mean, we got what, 83 days?
Here's
78
I mean,
days
I'm not
until-
counting down. Like, there's only thing I'm counting down to is the election because it's my job. I'm not counting down the Superman movie. I'm sorry, I can't.
No, I'm
That's
counting
not
down
a
to the end
countdown I
of the year.
care about.
I'm
Oh,
counting down to the
okay.
end of the year.
Okay, I was like, I
I'm
don't know
counting
when
down
it's
to
coming out.
2025.
All right, fair enough. For me, what I want from a Superman movie is maybe just to be happy.
Ah,
Just something lighter. Not I don't. It doesn't need to go Lois and Clark Superman. I know people don't like that show.
I
think
don't.
it's okay.
I'm one of those. Fuck Dean Cain.
I totally understand. Well, I mean, before Dean Cain became political with his stuff,
No, I've
nobody
never liked
was-
Dean Cain.
okay. But before all that, even I'd like, this is fun and lighthearted. It's fine.
I hated
But
Lois and Clark.
I know people do. I understand. I don't need it to be as light as that, but I just don't need it to be as dark as what Zack Snyder was doing. And I heard
I
like
can see
maybe like the idea was that Superman, and this is me paraphrasing, and I can't get it all right, but it was such a bleak world that he was building around. Eventually, in my mind, I feel like Superman was going to be this beacon of hope in all this darkness, and maybe by contrast, he would have seemed like even such a bigger beacon of light because he had stood by his principles. But his world was so oppressive and dark and bleak. Man, I was waiting for Superman to come back and be happy. We didn't get to that with Snyder.
Mhm.
I just need something a little bit lighter. That's all.
Okay. I respect that and I agree with you. You know me, I'm Bank 757. Cavill is not back as Superman. The gentleman who is Superman is, I apologize, I don't know the actor's name. I'm trying to pull it up now.
David Corn Sweat. David Corn Sweat.
Yes.
I don't know what he's in.
Yeah,
He was in Twisters. Who was he in Twisters? Oh, dang! Wait, was he that dude in Twisters?
That's
All right.
sad.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, he was not the main character in Twisters. That's fine.
So I'm excited. When I look at all the names, I'm actually interested to see. How do I say this? I'm interested to see everybody else who's in Superman. I'm interested to see Isabel Merced. I really am I really love.
I'm excited for Lois Lane.
Yes, Rachel Brosnahan, Millie Alcock as Supergirl, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I like Skylar Gisondo. He plays the son to. He plays. What's old boy from The Righteous Gemstones? The curly hair dude.
Danny something.
Danny. Oh, what is his name? But I like he plays his son.
I like him.
I really like him. I'm Sean Gunn as Max Lord, Anthony Kerrigan as Rex Mason. You might remember him from Hank, the bad guy in Hank, the assassin. Wendell Pierce as Perry White, Beck Bennett, I love Beck Bennett from SNL as Steve Lombard. I'm Alan Tudyk as an unnamed character. Frank Grillo's Rick Flag. He's also in the Creature Commandos, lending his voice. I'm really excited about this cast, and I haven't been as excited for a Superman film since Man of Steel. And I say that as a Cavalite. I was not excited for Batman versus Superman. I thought that movie was bad. I thought the extended version was bad. I did not like either version of Justice League, even though I
Mhm.
love Henry Cavill. So
Mhm.
I'm very excited about this. I am in agreement with you that I'm hoping we get back to a happy. Superman is a beacon of light. He is the light in the darkness. And I want you to think about the fact of what Superman is for those of you who do not realize. In this political climate of 2024, Superman, with all of his power, decided, I'm going to be a reporter because a reporter is going to clue me into what's going on in my community, in the
Mhm.
world. It's going to inform me and put me in places that I report on, but also allows me as Superman to help. Superman, Clark Kent, is also an illegal alien. He did not go through the immigration process as a baby when he came to Earth. So I say this to say all of the things you see that people are arguing about, that we don't need this, we don't need that, this is bad, this is bad. A lot of those things that they're saying, they're talking about Superman. And this is what I will say. If you have a problem with Superman, that's a you problem. And those are the people you should be looking at when they say, oh, I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like this. And it's like, oh, that's Superman. Wait, you don't like Superman? Right then and there, you should look and say, whose side are you on? That's all I'm saying. So I'm really looking forward to getting back to enjoying Superman again. I think I, you and I both know I was really hype about Flash because of James Gunn's endorsement.
Mhm.
And I do not I do not want to fall down the rabbit hole of believing someone just because they said something and have to, but I am really excited about Superman coming in 2025. And I'm really excited James Gunn is doing it. Now, with that being said, I hated The Flash. I thought it was one of the worst movies of all time. Um,
Worst movies of all time?
all time, son. All time.
Wow. I didn't think it was good. I feel like it was better than Black Adam in my mind.
Hold on, I'm thinking. I don't know. You
Okay.
know what it's not better than? Neither one of those were better than Morbius.
Hmm. At some point, man, I don't know. Now we're like, let's just throw Madam Web in there, and it's like that movie's not good, but it is
Have
something to
not seen.
watch.
Here's the funny thing.
You still haven't
Have
seen it yet?
I
Oh
still have not
man.
watched all of it.
Ooh,
Still
Madam
have
Web
not
is
watched all of
something.
it. Yeah, and here's the sad part. I would watch Morbius again before I watch Black Adam or The Flash again.
Okay.
Even if they're not better, I would still watch it before I watch either of those movies. I've watched Black Adam twice. I'll never go back to it.
Okay.
I've only seen The
You've seen it
Flash.
more than me.
I've seen The Flash once. I will never go back to it.
Sure.
The
I get it.
Flash. There are moments in The Flash that I thought were okay. The Flash personally assaulted me, and I will never forgive it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to Superman. Um, Creature Commandos. What do you think? Where are you on that one?
And this is not how. Tell me why. It, give me and somebody else who doesn't know, who would be me, just a new person. What's the difference between Creature Commandos versus the Suicide Squad?
Creature Commandos is
Besides them being
char-
monsters.
okay. Creature Commandos follows a group of military superhumans composed of a human leader, a werewolf, a vampire, Frankenstein's monster, and a Gorgon. So it's
Okay.
all monsters you already know
Okay.
doing missions um, for Amanda Waller.
So they also work for Amanda Waller,
Yes,
but they don't have
yes.
bombs in their heads.
I probably not,
Okay.
but here's the thing that I like about this. It's animated so that there is you're not spending a bunch of money on special effects.
Sure.
I'm really excited about this only because so I'm watching the little trailer. There does seem to be she does have bombs in them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Amanda Waller, everybody's getting a bomb. You get
You
a
get a
bomb. You
bomb.
get a
You
bomb.
get a bomb.
Yes.
Amanda Waller is the evil Oprah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Evil Oprah.
Yeah.
Mm. So yeah, so David Cooper, when you just put the trailer looks like SS Light, in my political brain, when you said SS, I was like Nazis.
Yeah.
Because when I think SS, I'm thinking
Sure. Yeah.
because again, I have to be careful of that at work because I have people that I have to be careful about that. Anyway, I'm really excited about this only because I do feel like the DCEU cartoons and some of this stuff is really good. I think DC does a very good job of their animated stuff. And when you put together James Gunn animation, actors, now I know you have a problem with actors who aren't voiceover actors not being able to bring it in voiceover roles. Have you looked at the cast?
Yeah. So,
Because a lot of these are not voiceover actors.
yeah, here's the thing with that. I'm curious. So the first thing that comes out is Creature Commandos, right? Of James Gunn stuff.
December.
Yeah. What I really want to see is a few of his things down the line, movies, TV shows, all that stuff down the line, where we will have had somebody who has done a cartoon, has done a live action where we hear their voice in multiple different formats. That's what I really want to see, more so than just the first project and stuff, because I think one way that will help me get around somebody being I say that. Well, who knows? I was going to say one thing that would help me get around somebody not being a trained voice actor doing stuff for cartoons is if I see them in a live action capacity, because at least I can still buy who they are. Okay. I say that, and I'm thinking back to Marvel's What If when Sebastian Stan did his first season of Bucky, and it sounded so flat and unbelievable. But I felt like he was better in the second season. He was in the second season, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I felt like he was better in that. So to be fair, maybe he got more repetitions to do it.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I'm looking for.
So if you look at, you've got Viola Davis, Sean Gunn, Frank Grillo, David Harbour, Indira Varma, and Alan Tudyk. So
Indira Varma's in it?
Yep.
Oh, that's great.
So you have those people. Those are the people I know who are not typical voice actors.
Now, Alan Tudyk might be. I feel like Alan Tudyk might have done some stuff.
Now here's the thing. Alec Tudyk is the person who I would say could probably be just a voice actor on manipulating his voice alone. Because when you told me he was K2SO, I did not believe you. Because just as good as he was in that, I could not believe he was K2SO. Now, I'm not saying that the other people who are like Maria Bakalova, Zoe Zhao, Steve Agee.
I feel like I've heard Steve Agee do something before.
Ellie Hughes, Russ Bain. I'm not saying that these people are not going to bring it. I just, when I think of voiceover actors, there's a couple of people who come to mind, like Nolan North. Like that's a person who does voiceover acting, and you're like, oh, he has range that he can do anything. So I'm really looking forward to this to see how this ties into, because I'm interested why this is the first property being released, if that makes sense. Like,
sure,
why make this the first part of your new DCEU instead of Superman? Like, so I'm very interested to see how this.
I wonder if it was a Zaslav. Hey, I need something from y'all. What you got?
Here's the thing. It could be. Oh, something weird's going on. They're rushing this. Sarkeesian is trying to get them to. Oh man, holy cow! Sarkeesian's like getting people to like stop throwing stuff and like not rush the field.
Oh, in the
Wow.
Georgia Texas game.
Mm-hmm. Like
Oh,
he's out there on the field doing this shit. Like, hey
oh,
man, chill the fuck out.
interesting.
Hey man, people take football serious. I like.
They do.
Hey, sometimes people forget that you and I have both
Like
worked.
they're on the team. Like you don't play for the team. Calm
Hey
down.
man,
But okay.
people think that I'm joking when I say people have killed each other over the Clemson South Carolina rivalry.
Hmm.
We have been at the station where we have heard news and it's like, oh, somebody got shot. Oh, it was over the football game. Okay, like it's believable. Um, so no, I'm Creature Commandos is very interesting to me. I really wish you had watched Penguin by now because Penguin is top tier. Like Penguin reminds me of like the hype. It's almost to that hype where Watchmen was.
Okay.
It's really there. Like it's definitely like make The Sopranos, but throw it in Gotham City, and you're like, oh, this last episode,
So
Christian
this is
Milotti.
it's interesting. In two DC properties now, the tagline that we have said, whether it's official or not, has been, "It's like this, but this." Specifically, it's like this HBO show, but with this.
Hmm.
I wonder if that is a thing going forward. Like Penguin, we said it's like Sopranos, but in Gotham. Green
Yeah.
Lantern, we said it's like True Detective, but in space. I'm wondering if, and this is crazy crackpot theory, tie strings around. I'm wondering if that is a directive where they're like, what well-known HBO property can we make a DC property out of, or generate something like that? Oh, it'll be like this HBO thing that you know, but with this DC spin.
Here's the thing. I think that's smart, and I do believe you. I'm on board with that because for the uninitiated, people who do not follow this stuff, to get someone into a project, I'm not going to spoil it, but she is amazing. Like the last episode, Banks. I'm not going to spoil it. The last episode focuses on her, and I was kind of like, when is she going to like show she could carry a crime family? The last episode shows she is Wu Tang, and she is not to be fucked with. Back to what you said, Binks. I'm not going to speak anymore on it. I do believe you're right, and I do wonder marketing wise, and this is why I hate Max and HBO because you're right. Penguin is The Sopranos in Gotham. Lanterns is True Detective in space. The best way to describe that is how do we get people who don't know what these properties are, brand new IP, which is a hard thing to get people on board with,
Hmm.
into this thing. And if I am HBO Max or whatever you want to, whatever the entity is, if I am that thing, how do I get new people in? And that's the best way to explain it. Because the Watchmen already had built in fan interest because it was the Watchmen. We already had a movie, we had the book. Um, oh, Brick Warren brings up a very good question. Michael, what was Peacemaker? If you had to describe Peacemaker, what is it?
I don't know. This ain't a quiz.
No, because you're right. You talked about basic the
Well,
log line.
those two things were things that you said, so I don't know.
What I'm saying is, it's not just me who's saying that. Like the log line for these shows, that's the very best way to describe them. Like in other words, let's take my in-laws,
Uh huh.
people who are in their 60s and 70s. If I wanted to describe a show like The Penguin or um, Lanterns, and I wanted to describe it to them, I would use something that they already know. They already know what The Sopranos are. So that's an easy way to describe it to them. So how would you describe to someone who has no idea what Peacemaker is, what Peacemaker is?
Well, now I got to look at HBO shows, man.
Here's the thing: you don't have to use HBO shows. I'm just saying that's
Well, I
easy
kind of
because
because that was the point of the whole my premise.
yeah, but the premise is baking on the fact that the HBO shows were the most recognizable shows.
Hmm.
Texas just scored. It is now 23-14,
Okay.
getting an extra point.
Maybe. Mm, I almost want to say Peacemaker could be like Barry, but I haven't seen all of Barry to know how Barry ends.
See, I would disagree with Barry.
But
So
Barry
it's
is like has comedy and drama to it, which I feel like Peacemaker does.
true,
And
true,
Barry
but
kind of walks the line between whether or not he wants to be a funny person or a hitman.
mm,
I don't know. What do you say it is then?
Brick Warren says Fargo with superheroes. Now I've never seen Fargo, so I don't know. I mean the television, so I've seen the movie.
Okay. I
Only
think
reason why,
Fargo kind of deals with like the strange and like it gives you like a grounded story, but also it hits on the strange from time to time. So I mean, I wouldn't say that's wrong. I wouldn't disagree
okay,
with that.
only reason why I bring it up is because you brought up a very good point of it seems to be that they're trying to use known properties to describe their shows. And to me, that's a very good thing to do. That is
Hmm.
very smart to do because you take a known property and attach it to an unknown property to get people's interest into it. Um, so right now we have casting for Lanterns. We got Superman coming out, Creature Commandos. We know Batman is coming eventually. Now I'm not. I'm. How do I say this? I want to get into the comics a little bit. I know you're not a big comic reader, but I will say this DC is killing it with their Absolute line. This is the first issue, Batman Absolute Batman, which takes a very different take, which takes a different Batman takes a turn in this. It is not the Bruce Wayne you know, it's not the Alfred you know. The Waynes are not the people you know. I'm telling you, this is very this is one of the best first issues I've ever read.
Okay.
Yeah.
Batman seems bulkier than I'd normally see him.
Yes.
At least how his
So
symbol looks on him.
so here's the funny thing. So when you look at this issue and you look at the symbol, um, Banks, you're right. So this is born out of the absolute power run that's been going on with DC. In the 90s, Marvel took a turn and said, what would happen if we took our most recognizable properties and presented them? What would happen if they what happened if we discovered Captain America now? What would happen if the X-Men were made now in the 90s, early 2000s? What would those characters look like? And they did very well. A matter of fact, and I say this, a lot of people don't realize this, without the Ultimates, you would have never gotten the MCU. A lot of the MCU is based on the Ultimate line. The Ultimates were the Avengers. Um, Nick Fury being Nick Fury looking like Samuel Jackson was something that was drawn by Brian Hitch in the Ultimates line. A lot of that you would have never gotten that without the Ultimates line. So I don't know how Absolute Batman and Absolute Superman and Wonder Woman and Flash and all these different characters will play a factor at going forward in DCEU, but you did see the influence of the Ultimates line in the MCU. You also saw a lot of uh, Jonathan Hickman's writing in the MCU, but the comics and the information coming out of New York Comic Con has been very interesting. The Vertical line is back. Uh, what do you know about Vertigo? The Vertigo line of comics.
Mm, not much. Is Watchmen part of Vertigo, or is that's a separate universe?
So that is a very sticky situation.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, let's not.
Um,
I don't have. Let's put it like
there's no
this.
concrete answer.
There is, but we don't have the time to get into that. For
Okay,
those of
cool.
you who know, the reason why Alan Moore is mad about Watchmen is because of all creator owned and the rights and all that stuff. But anyway, um, I'll put in the chat this. Vertigo is back, and Vertigo was the
What are some things that Vertigo gave us?
Swamp Thing,
Okay,
um, Sandman,
okay. Is that Constantine or no? Or is that just straight DC?
all of the so creator owned.
Oh,
Vertigo
okay.
was creator owned comics that allowed us to get to 100 Bullets, Scout. So I don't know what's going on with Black Label, but Breck Warren, Vertigo is back and they're re-releasing um the uh the House on the Lake, Last House on the Lake. Um So DC Black Label continues with some red hot stories for DC superhero comics still on the way for years to come. Vertigo puts us back into the creator-owned business in a very big way. Yes, I'm running both. No, I haven't lost my mind. So basically, DC revealed in 2019 that they were closing the Vertigo line. So basically, all the creator-owned projects that DC was doing, they stopped, and then they made Black Label. Black Label did like a lot of American Vampire. Yes, Black Label did a lot of different um, adult versions of your comic characters. Vertigo was creator-owned series. So, like, if you were a writer, an artist, you guys were able to take stuff to Vertigo and get DC to make it. And it didn't have to be based on a previously existing DC property. Vertigo was the play. DMZ, yes, I love DMZ. I hated the show, but loved DMZ.
I was going to ask if the show was any good.
I'm not going to say the DMZ show is bad. I'm going to say DMZ, the show, is not the comic. They took
Okay.
elements of the comic and made a show.
Okay.
But it's not the comic. So yeah, DMZ. So DMZ is one, American Vampire, but Vertigo allowed a lot of creators that you knew to just basically go ham. So to have that back, especially with this new crop of writers and artists that you have now, so like you could see somebody like Jonathan Hickman write for DC and make his own comic, and not Vertigo is the idea. How do I say this without? Vertigo was kind of like what Image Comics became. Does that make sense? Where Image Comics is writers, artists can make their own book. You own it. We'll just publish it.
Mm-hmm.
Vertigo was kind of like that before. The Losers was great. I own every issue. I used to own every issue and I sold it. The movie was good. All that movie was good. If you go back and look at the original Losers movie, you have some heavy hitters in that, where you've got Idris Elba, Chris Evans, who plays your boy from Supernatural, the dad.
Oh, the guy who was the governor in Walking Dead?
No, not the governor.
Not the governor, Negan.
Yes.
I can't think of his name, but I know you're talking about. Oh,
Mhm.
man, what's his name? I don't want to look it up. I don't look up. He was married to the girl from Weeds. He was married to Mary Louise Parker. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in, remember Losers? He was in that. Zoe Saldana was in Losers. Yeah, Losers was great. I love that show. Not show. Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Thank you.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. There we go. Couldn't figure it out in time. All right, there's what it was.
Go watch Losers. Losers was great. I love that, and I
Yeah,
was
it's a fun
mad that
movie.
they did not get a sequel. Um, Chris Evans was hilarious. Um,
He was.
so yeah, so Vertigo coming back is a very big deal because you need more vehicles for writers and for artists and creators to make. Sweet Tooth was Vertigo. Thank you. Yeah, Vertigo had, like, you see all of this stuff that you're seeing on television and movies. All of that came from Vertigo. Was Dead Boy Detectives? Let's look up Dead Boy Detectives. I think that was Vertigo too.
Is that the show that's on Netflix?
Yeah, that was originally a show that was supposed to be on Max, and then they leased it. And
Uh,
yeah, because Zaslav was like, "Hey, man, if you want to buy this shit, you can." Mm, yeah, I want to say Dead Boy Detectives was Vertigo too. Yeah, so like that's why to me this is very exciting. Transmetropolitan was great, and I do not believe it will ever become the television.
mhm.
Spider Jerusalem. That was Spider Jerusalem was an outlaw journalist. Um, he used to have so Spider Jerusalem had a gun called a bow disruptor,
Oh God.
and he would shoot it at people and they would shit on themselves.
Yeah, that's horrible.
First issue. First issue. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else. Why the man Banks? Thank you, Banks. You are hitting hard. Why the? I will admit, why the Last Man? The ending of the comic series kind of lackluster, kind of a letdown. Um, I thought the show was interesting, and I think why the Last Man would never get made today. Michael, do you know what Why the Last Man is?
Don't know what it
The
is.
property.
I've heard of it. Beyond that, no.
Uh,
Didn't that come
yes,
to
it was a
Hulu
TV
or
show.
somewhere?
Mhm.
As a TV show? Yeah.
So, Why the Last Man is a post-apocalyptic comic book about the entire males species dying off, except for one man. And how does this one man, and everybody is hunting for this one man because he's the only living male alive. And what are the different
Hmm.
forces trying to find him? And who is he and why is he still alive? What is a global pandemic that caused all of the men to die?
Well, that's just
Yeah.
wonderful.
Like the TV show had so much promise. Only made it one season. Brick Warner's right. Um, reason why I bring it up is because Why the Last Man was such a great book. Like week to week, you got to see, not week to week, month to month, you got to see what happens when the world collapses
Hmm.
and how does society right itself? Like most men are in X jobs. So what happens when everything living mammal with a Y chromosome goes? Pilots, bus drivers, cops, politicians. Like this is a world that is so like that show was so the fact that it was only made it one season so underrated. When I think of Why the Last Man, you know what I think of? Battlestar
What's that?
Galactica. Remember
Okay.
when the Cylons took over and it was like everybody scattering to just survive? That's Why the Last Man. So yeah. So I'm very interested in the comic side of things, what's going on with DC. Because I think
I want to see some games.
now Wonder Woman, is supposed to come out with the Nemesis system. So is that still happening? You're,
Yeah, but like I just want to see. Yeah, like I don't know where they are in development of that because we had Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. That didn't do well. That bombed. Um, I need another DC game, and more specific, I need a DC game that's going to be with James Gunn in terms of people doing the voices for this stuff. I
who
want to
would
see
you
that.
like to see?
I really just want to see. Well, I mean, the people that he's
No,
already
no. What
cast,
game?
that's fine.
Ooh, that's a great poll question. Because you know
Uh,
what I would love to see?
what's
Peacemaker.
that? Huh? Okay. I feel like I would. I mean, I kind of want. I would like a good Superman game. That would be
How do
interesting.
you make it?
Once I can figure out what. Oh
Like
God, I
what
don't know.
studio? No,
People have been
what I'm
trying
saying.
for years.
See, I think you could make a Superman game based on Anthem. The fact that you had the flying, I believe you can make a Superman game. My question is, who would you have make it? And what are the mechanics involved?
Mm, I don't know.
Think about it. Sit on it.
Um,
Think about it.
yeah, maybe I'll answer that next
So,
week.
but you're right. I would love to. That's a very good point you bring up. What else? What gaming wise? What else would you like to see? You said Superman. I'm going Peacemaker. Rocksteady is rumored to be going back into the Batman arsenal, but we've been
I mean, Rocksteady they need to come to Jesus moment, be like, hey man, we lost our way. And really, I don't know that they lost their way. I think the studio higher,
corporate
not the studio
overlords.
higher ups, so the company overlord said, hey, y'all are gonna make
Mhm.
this game and it's gonna have these parameters that you guys don't
Mhm.
do. So have fun with that.
Kind kind
I
of
feel like
like
that
what
needs to
somebody did with
happen.
a
Yeah.
company in Redfall. So what else? What is another game that you would like to see?
I don't know who you're taking shots at
Oh,
there.
Microsoft.
But Microsoft didn't make that game.
Yeah,
That
but
game was
they
already
did
made.
not do anything to help them or stop them. So
But they
true,
didn't
I
greenlight the
agree with you.
game.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm going to take
Okay.
shots where I can. That's what I
Okay.
do. Um,
Okay.
I would love to see a Nightwing game. I'd
Hmm.
love to see a Nightwing, not necessarily a Sifu type game, but I would love to see more of a Nightwing, kind of like what Batman Arkham did, with more
Uh-huh.
fighting and combination and action combinations. Where like with the what are the sticks that he uses?
Is Grimace?
What, yeah,
I don't know how you pronounce it. I
whatever
think
you
it's
call them. But
Eskrima sticks.
I'd like to see a Nightwing game. I wouldn't be opposed to a Deadshot or Deathstroke game either. Or um, I am gonna say I don't care about co-op or live service games. I want a good single player game. That's a touchdown.
Sure.
Um, sorry, I'm still watching the game. I'm trying not to. 30-15, or wait,
Hmm.
29
30 to
15.
15.
They got they
It'll
got
be
to kick
30 to
our extra point
15.
or go for two.
They're ahead on YouTube. Or not on YouTube,
Okay.
on Google.
Yeah, I actually would like to see a Peacemaker game because I would like to see. Here's the thing. I think a Peacemaker game could show the range and the growth that we saw in John Cena's character in a game in a different way. And I would like to see that.
Hmm.
Interesting, Banks. I'm not opposed to that. I'm
Oh,
not
that's
opposed
cool.
to that. Yeah, I'm not hating that idea. I just I wanted to talk about DC because we've ragged on them quite a bit. And when I say we, I mean the world. The DCEU has been
Sure.
kind of crap, and I would like to celebrate because I think in 2024 we have been kind of the light in a lot of the dark when it comes to DC. DC has tried like this right here, Superman versus the Klan. This is a book you guys should really try to check out. Um, All Star Superman, I would recommend. Um, gear up for, because I think we're going to see a little bit of these elements in there. And right now, there's a Kickstarter going on for a documentary about Kingdom Come. I own this book in every version.
Oh, I like Kay's idea, Hitman style game featuring the League of Assassins.
So who
Yeah,
would
that's
be
cool.
who would be who's the avatar you're playing?
I don't know. Any League of Assassin, man? Give
Ooh,
me
Michael, you can answer Breck's question.
how was the Gotham Knights game that came out recently? Not good. Next.
Wow.
Trash. I mean, it just it
Wow.
was, for one, it was a game that they really talked about needing to be on PS5 and Xbox Series X. It really didn't seem
Because
like
it was cross
because
platform,
of
wasn't it?
I don't know if it ever came to PS4. They kept talking about it was going to, but then I don't feel like it got canceled for those systems.
I wanted that game because it's the only time that you got to play as Nightwing and Batgirl and Red Hood. I really wanted to play as those three characters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, probably playing with I played it on PlayStation Plus as part of the subscription, so that worked out for me. I bet playing with a friend might have been fun. I never found anybody to play with at the time, but it was okay.
My bad.
The combat is not the Arkham combat like it should have been, which is what everybody wanted. It wasn't made by Rocksteady. It was made by the other studio that had done the Batman game. What
They're the
studio
ones
was
who
that?
did City, right?
Montreal?
They did
WB
City, right?
Montreal.
Arkham City, or they did.
So Rocksteady did all the They did Arkham City, Arkham Knight, Arkham
No, Rocksteady.
Asylum.
No,
Whichever one.
Rocksteady didn't do one game. So what?
Right. The three they did those. No. They did those three. There was one that's like, was it Batman Origins,
Yes.
Arkham Origins, or something?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one that they didn't do, and that's the same studio that
Because
did
that's the one that had
Gotham
Deathstroke
Knights.
in it. That was a prequel.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Yeah.
remember that one.
Yeah. I would say if you have it, if it's still part of PlayStation Plus and you have access to that, try it out. See what you think. Story was okay, kind of predictable, but it's fine. It's fine.
I didn't think about games. Good catch. That's going to be a poll question. What game would you like to see? Or what character would you like to see get their own video? We did ask that before, but based on the DCU, that's a good question. Look at you coming up with stuff even when you don't even think about it.
Mm-hmm. Did you take your kids to the fair or no?
Only reason why is because my wife. So
it's a germ cesspool.
I asked, should we take them? And my wife says, the longer they don't know about the fair, the better. Her exact words.
Okay. I can't argue with that.
We took them 1 year. Did we? I feel like we did. No, I don't think we've ever taken them. But the last time me and Katie went to the fair, there was a shooting. And I don't think we've been back. We also took the parking pass from work, and Tony was mad because we took the parking pass.
A reporter probably needed it.
That was the night of the shooting. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And so, I mean, I told him I was taking it. It was like Saturday night. Yeah. And then we saw some commotion, and then we left. Yeah, I love the fair food. I will say this. I miss doing Friends at 5 at the fair. Like, I miss doing live television, like having all of those elements, having your anchors, your talent meet people. I do miss that. But I don't miss the stupidity that's around the fair. Like, people making it harder than it has to be to put on the fair. But I do miss that element of it. So no, we did not take them. We're looking at like pumpkin patches and stuff like that to take them to.
Cool. Sir, your fan is going ham.
Which one?
On the one on your computer.
Oh, I can't hear it with these things. So, hey, what got you through the week, man?
I know. What got me through the week? Dungeon farming for higher levels in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth has been great. Watching Crime Scene Kitchen's been good. Today I did watch Boy Kills World. It's on Amazon
Oh,
Prime.
I need to see that.
I'm glad I didn't see that in the theaters.
That makes me sad. I really was looking for.
It's not worth the theater. Seen at your house? Fine.
Really?
It's not worth the
Okay.
theater go though.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
It was fine. That's probably it. What about
For
you?
me, hold on. My wife is out of town, so I'm trying to make sure she's still alive. Oh man, Lonnie Randolph passed.
Why do I know that
You're in
name?
news. You should know that name. Sorry, Chris was just texting me. No, Penguin. Been watching that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Penguin and the Old Man. Last episode, that last shot.
Is it
We got one more
finished?
episode, so you need to watch it so we
Okay.
can review it because I am just loving this show. I am Amy Brennan. Oh, she every time she's on screen, like the guys are really good in this, but the women, Amy Brennan, bravo, bitch, just I need more shows to be like this. So those two shows, I am on episode 3 of The Lioness, and I'm really mad that Paramount sucks as a platform because hiding this type of show behind Paramount Plus is criminal. This show's amazing. I'm really enjoying it.
It is.
My favorite scene so far is my favorite part about the show is the comedy that happens in it. Episode 1, when Cruz fights.
Well, don't spoil it for
No,
people.
no.
They want to watch it.
I'm not going to spoil it. When Cruz fights Sergeant Hastings and she tells him to get a helmet, he's like, I'm not going to need it. And then they have the fight and the off camera stuff. When you hear in the background, he's like, and she says, you should have got a helmet. And he's like, it's like fighting a raccoon. When I tell you I paused the show to laugh my ass off when he says it's like fighting a raccoon. Done.
Yeah, everybody in
And
this
then
show is very good.
episode 2, when he goes, did your asset just get a call in a bar fight? Son, like just the situations that happens and like the comments. Done. I like Lioness is really good. And this really bothers me because I feel like Zoe Saldana finally is getting to act.
Mhm.
And the range we saw, bringing it back, Losers. What we saw in the Losers, what we saw in Guardians of the Galaxy, and I can get why she felt a little stifled, where she did not get to show her range until the 3rd movie.
Mhm.
Zoe Saldana, bravo. Colombiana, that like you get to see her, Zoe Saldana's range. She did another movie with Christian Bale. What's the guy with the eye?
Rufus Sewell?
No, the guy with the eye, black guy.
I don't know.
Forrest Whitaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're getting to see Zoe Saldana in this show that you do not get to see in any other properties that she's in. So I'm really loving Lioness. So yeah, that's what it got me through the week.
Word.
Good. So Michael says my fan is acting up. Michael, hey Kay, Michael talked about Bad Monkey last week. It was like very
It was
good.
a lot. Yeah, it was fun. Very fun. I'm rewatching. Actually, I'll keep talking about stuff all the day. Let's wrap this up.
It's on you, buddy.
Okay. Folks, We've been going about an hour or so. Enjoyed your company. Enjoyed the chats. We may be live next week. We may tape something next week. We don't know. Whatever it was, we'll try to do it around 9:30 to give you guys a consistent time when we're doing stuff.
Hey man, hey, bravo for us. We've been consistent.
We
Putting
have.
something out.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see how long it goes. The streak continues. But yeah, we'll be back next week with more stuff some kind of way. Until next time, see y'all later. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, know where we are. Throughout this little stream, I kind of put up super so you guys can know where to find all of our social media stuff. Until next time, later.
Tyrese is better than Bookie Woodbine. We're out.